Dear student, I just would like you all to welcome to this lesson. So, particularly this lesson is designed for the students who are studying in bilingual classes. And I just would like to continue where we have stopped in the class. So, we have studied up to page number 34 of your textbook. So we have been studying the second unit, which is contemporary changes. So now we will look at the adaptation to the changes in economy. So the economical changes with technology. So when we think about economy, so we understand the term economy, which can be defined as wealth or maybe assets that the people hold. So in the economy, there are three main processes that occur in an economy of any country. And the three main processes can be mentioned like the first one, production, the second one, distribution, and the third one, consumption. So now we will see what production is. So the production means changing economical resources to fulfill the needs of humans. So in our environment, we can see there are many resources. So we cannot use the resources as it is. So the resources should be changed. Unless it is changed, we cannot use it. So for example, we see tree. So if you want to make, if you want to have a furniture in a house, so the tree should go through a certain process. So that means the production. So that is the process of production. And we can say, in other words, conversion of existing resources into goods that are compatible with human needs using labor and techniques take place in the process of production. So we can say it as the conversion of existing resources into goods. For example, we see water, soil, tree, and other mineral resources. So those are the existing resources that we can see in our environment. So that should be changed for the purpose of human needs. So that means production. So in the picture depicted in the slide, so you can see that is a factory. So in the factory, people are producing goods. The process is taken place in factories. The second process of economy is distribution. So the distribution is the process of providing manufactured goods and services up to the consumer. So manufactured. So manufacturing means producing, right? So the manufacturing or production take place in the factories. So once the goods are produced, that should be distributed. For the distribution, transportation is compulsory. So if there is no transportation, the goods cannot be distributed. So in order to ensure this process, the government and the private sectors, they make sure the transportations and particularly the government, they they construct roads, especially roads, right? And the private sectors, they modify vehicles, right? So in order to ensure a better distribution of goods. And we will move to the third process, which is consumption. So this is the last level that the people consume goods. So here we can see what consumption is. So what do you mean by consumption? So we can define it. Fulfillment of human needs by using goods and services produced in an economy is consumption. Right? So consumption, so we can mention once the goods are produced in factories, then the goods are distributed to the distribution centers, maybe shops or supermarkets, right? So the people go and consume according to their wish. So above three processes are compulsory for the existence of an economy. So for the economy, there are three processes. Those are very, very essential. The first one, production. The second one, distribution. And the third one, consumption. So the students, you should keep in your mind all those three processes. For your exam, sometimes there may be a question asked for write down the three processes of economy. So you can write it down, all three. So now we will see the changes that take place in an economy can be considered under three sections or maybe sectors. So in Sri Lanka, we can divide it as three. The first one, agricultural sector, industrial sector, and the third one, service sector. So in Sri Lanka, we see most of the people have engaged with the agricultural sector, and the larger contribution is derived from the agricultural sector to the government, and we will see what the agriculture sector is. So we will see contemporary changes take place in the agricultural sector. Normally we see the agricultural sector, paddy cultivation, chena cultivation, and other productions. For other production, we can say about vegetables, fruits, tubers, cereals, and spices, right? So paddy cultivation, we see paddy cultivation in our area too, and chena cultivation. So the people engaged with chena cultivation, they rely on rainfalls. So mostly the chena cultivation is done during the rainy season. So in our country, the tea production is also an important aspect, and with the arrival of the Westerners, plantation began to be popular in Sri Lanka. So the tea cultivation is introduced by the British people. And for the plantation sector, we can indicate some examples. Like the first one, tea, rubber, and coconut, right? So those crops are mentioned like commercial crops. So at present, more modern changes has taken place in association with this could be seen. So here we can mention some examples for the modern changes that have taken place in agriculture. The first one, use of machinery for preparation of land, planting, harvest. So in the ancient times, the people used people used manual laborers, right, instead of using machinery. Nowadays, for all the parts of agriculture, they use machineries. For example, preparation of land, plowing, right, and planting the crops, and even for the harvesting, the farmers use machineries. And the second one, chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Using chemical fertilizers instead of using organic fertilizers, the farmers use chemical fertilizers. And chemical fertilizers, which is related to technology, right? So with the technology, the agricultural researchers, they invent chemical fertilizers, and the companies and factories are producing. And third one, introduction of hybrid seeds and tissue culture plant varieties to get shorter harvests, right? So in the early days, our farmers, they wanted to wait for long in order to get harvest. But nowadays, they introduce hybrid seeds, and this will bring quick harvest. Within a shorter period, they can get the harvest. And the other thing, use of gene technology. So, what do you mean gene technology? And mostly in the developed countries, and mostly in the urban areas, they don't have sufficient places. So they use gene technology, and they change the traditional method or traditional output of the production, right? For example, so we see our mango trees. It's a big tree, and it should have a huge area. And but nowadays they plant the mango trees in a pot. For example, in countries like Japan, they plant the tree in a pot, right? So they don't want a huge area. And the other thing is utilization of new methods in irrigation. And for example, sprinkling method. So by using sprinkling method, they can continuously water the garden. So the plants can get water. So they can maintain the humidity always, right? Use of modern methods of cultivation and greenhouse cultivation, right? And the last thing, diversification of productions. So instead of depending on a particular product, so the production is diversified, right? So we will see the example. So here I have taken some pictures with description from your textbook. So the first one, use of modern technology in agriculture. For example, preparation of land. The second one, planting. And the third one, harvesting. Here you can observe how the machineries and equipments are used in agriculture. And use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides are used in agriculture. The first one, use of fertilizer, and they are using helicopters or small aeroplanes to put fertilizer or to spray pesticides to their cultivated lands. And similarly, we can see use of modern irrigation method I have mentioned earlier. So here, drip irrigation, right? And modern methods of cultivation. Example, a greenhouse and hydroponics. Hydroponics is a method that is used in a small area. Right? So here they are using the pipes. Within a small area, they can do it efficient. and the diversification of tea productions. For example, instant tea, packed in boxes, black tea, tea bags, green tea, organic tea. So this will attract the consumers, right? So this is all about, we have studied the adaptation to the changes in economy. I hope that you have enjoyed this lesson, and as usual I will give you some questions for your home assignment, and I will post it in your WhatsApp group. Thank you so much.